let's talk about integration testing. Oh, so integration testing is unlike a unit test. Integration test will test how an entire route works by actually making a request like a client would, and then just observing what the API sent back and making assertions on that result. So we can actually just use jest plus SuperTest to run integration test. So here's an example of what that will look like. And obviously, I'm gonna walk you through how to do it. So I'm gonna go back to our code. I'm going to put something on the root of the source folder. I'm gonna make a new folder called test again. And I'm gonna test, I don't know, routes.test.ts, sorry. There we go. In order to do integration tests, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can spin up the server yourself and then just make an API call to the server, or we can just import the Express app and SuperTest will pretty much do all that stuff for us. So in memory. So I'll just import our app. So I'll say import app from, I believe is in the server. That's our app. And I'm gonna import SuperTest from SuperTest. Then I'm gonna write some tests. So I'm gonna say describe, let's test out this route right here where you get something. You just do get. Let's test that out. Obviously gonna change it so it doesn't break, but we'll do that in a minute. So we'll describe a get to index like that. And then I'll say it should send back some data. And this is gonna be async. It blocks can be async. And I'm gonna say result equals await. I need to make a request. So the way you can make a request, or I guess, oh yeah, I forgot they changed the syntax. So you can just say like SuperTest app, and then you can start like doing things like changing the headers, sending up the body, all different things you would want to do. So in the case of like a GET request, we don't really have, like for instance, we're not going to be like setting up anything like here. We're not going to be setting any headers, but we do want to make a GET request. So what we'll do is we'll say .get request to / like that. And then what we can say is like, okay, I expect res.body.message to be hello. I could do that. So what I'm gonna do is go back to our server. I'm gonna say res.json message hello, like that. And then now I'm gonna run this test. Okay. Oh, I still got the other one. Let's not do the other one. Or let me get the other one to like pass so it's not in the way. There we go. Okay, let's run the test. Okay, so now you can see the second one ran and it passed because that's exactly what the server sends back on that request. And you can see right there, Morgan's logging. Morgan ran a log. Morgan, which is our middleware that we wrote, is actually logging that something did a GET request to / it got a 200. So it ran the handler and everything like a request would. It's gonna run through all of it. And that passed. And you know, just to be sure, we can change that to something else and we'll get something else. Expected hello, instead we got back nope. Easy as pie. Any questions on integration testing? No? Okay. Everybody's good at testing at this point. Yeah.
Note that the Front-End Masters website has a learning path, or sorry, a topic on testing. So if you want to learn more just about testing in JavaScript, there's a testing topic.
Yeah, that is actually true. There's really good testing. There's a lot of good testing stuff in Front-End Masters. in general. But yeah, there's a testing course in JavaScript that is pretty effective, that goes through way more stuff than I'm talking about here. But for the most part, on the back end, I mostly just do unit testing, integration testing. Yeah, front end is a little more difficult. Snapshotting, end-to-end, unit. I heard someone else do this other diffing. I'm like, oh man, there's just so many different tests on the front end. But back end's pretty simple.